Good morning students, myself Ajit Pratap Singh. Today in this video of class 7 science, I will let you know about heterotrophic nutrition. And as we all know that in the previous video, I told you about autotrophic nutrition and also about photosynthesis and what are the conditions required for photosynthesis. Okay students? So as we all know that the conditions required for photosynthesis are presence of chlorophyll, presence of sunlight, availability of carbon dioxide gas and availability of water. So these are four conditions which are necessary for photosynthesis. Okay. But for today I will let you know about heterotrophic nutrition. As we all know that all animals and non-green plants such as fungi and bacteria, they cannot make their own food, so therefore they are dependent directly or indirectly on green plants for their nutrition or for their food. So this mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition, and animals and non-green plants are also known as heterotrophs. Herbivorous animals depend directly on plants for their nutrition, and carnivorous animals, they also depend on other animals which in turn depend on plants. Okay, so whenever we eat meat, we are indirectly depending on food prepared by the plants. Okay, so as we all know that green plants get the energy to make their food from the sun. Therefore we can say that the sun is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms. Okay students, now I'll let you know about heterotrophic nutrition in plants. Some non-green plants, as we all know, they live in or on other living organisms and they take their food from them. Okay, for example, toad, that is a plant that sucks food from another plant using root-like structure, and that's why these plants are also known as parasites. Okay students, the plant from which a parasite gets its food is also known as a host. Some parasitic plants like mistletoe that grows on trees such as mango or mahua, they have green leaves and can make their food. Okay students, now we move to the next slide. In the previous slide something is left. They take water and minerals from the host plants, therefore they are known as partial parasites. Okay, they are not completely non-green plants, so that's why they are known as partial parasites. And those which are completely non-green plants, which are known as total parasites. Okay students, as we all know that plant kingdom also has some plants which consume insects or which eat insects. Okay, some examples of insectivorous plants are Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Okay, and they catch insect by the different methods. Okay, and because they catch insects or they feed insects, that's why they are also known as insectivorous plants. In pitcher plant, a leaf becomes modified to form a pitcher-like structure with a lid. Inside the pitcher there are hairs pointing downwards. When an insect enters into the pitcher plant, the lid closes to trap the insect and it gets entangled in the hair. The cells of the pitcher plant secrete digestive juices to digest the insect. So this is how they can digest the insect. On the other hand, Venus flytrap and the pitcher plant grow in soil that is not so rich. Okay, they use the nutrition obtained from insect to supplement the food they prepare by photosynthesis process. Okay students, now the left slide. As you can see in this slide, you can see students very easily the flow of energy is there in a food chain, in which you can see the sun is the ultimate source of energy, and by the help of sunlight the green plants or producers, or we can say them as the autotrophs also, so they get the energy from sunlight, and with the help of that, by the photosynthesis process, they prepare their own food, and that green plants are eaten by the herbivores like goat, and the herbivores are eaten by either by humans or even by the carnivores like lion and tigers. Okay students, so this is the flow of energy in a food chain of a grassland, as you can see. And the food chain, I told you in sixth class that the food chain is an interdependence of food among organisms, or we can say that when the smaller organisms are eaten by the bigger organisms in sequence, then this forms a food chain. Okay students, so now we can recap this video. In this video I told you about heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, heterotrophic nutrition is a nutrition in which plants cannot prepare their own food, and they are dependent directly or indirectly on other plants, or we can say they are dependent directly or indirectly on green plants for their food. The main examples are fungi and bacteria. Okay, and that's why the heterotrophic organisms are also known as heterotrophs. Okay, we also talked about the heterotrophic nutrition in plants, like we talked about the parasites, like total parasites like Coscuta, and partial parasites like Mistletoe. Okay, apart from this, I also told you about the insectivorous plants. Okay, insectivorous plants are those plants which are able to eat the insects or digest the insects, okay, with the help of digestive juices. Okay students, and some examples of insectivorous plants are Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Apart from this, I told you about how the energy flows in a food chain in a grassland. In this, I told you about the ultimate source of energy, that is sun, and green plants prepare their food with the help of sunlight by the process of photosynthesis, and these green plants are eaten by herbivores, and herbivores are eaten by either lion or by humans. So that's it in this video. Have a great day.